or like they do math a different way now, which I don't understand, and it drives me crazy too. So I'm like, that's not the right way to add and subtract, but it's how it works apparently. I don't know. It's just like, but again, it's like, it's just because it's different. And so that's just me being like, well, I learned it this way, so this has to be the correct way to do it.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Andrew.
And we're the Midlife guys. So I hope everyone has their beer ready to go.
I've got. You've got Richmond Lager again.
Richmond Lager again.
Okay. I've switched it up this time. But
what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking Star Hill Summer Ale because it's almost the end of summer, but not yet. So I'm trying to enjoy the last little bit of summer that we've got.
Not quite yet, but yes, that is today's topic. It's back to school. Back to school. Are you ready for back to school, Andrew? More importantly, are your boys ready for back to school?
Well, that answer's a lot easier. No, they have enjoyed summer and they both like school, but are still in the whole idea of like, don't necessarily want to go back because they know they have to start going to bed at a normal time and getting up and, doing that type of all the normal school routine, which I'm looking forward to, but I think they would love to have more summer break to just have it keep going and going.
Of course, that's what you want as a kid.
Yeah.
But you're, I guess you're kind of in the majority, but interestingly enough, only 58% of parents actually look forward to their kids going back to school.
That seems low to me. I'm surprised that only 58% look forward to their kids. I mean, I am part of the, what is the other, the 42%? Do math that quickly in my head. I am part of the 42% that's like, get back to school.
No, it was 58% look forward to going back to school.
Oh, they said didn't want to go back to school. Well, that still seems low to me. I'm surprised not like 80% look forward to going back to school. I mean, it's kind of interesting though. I was talking with a neighbor the other day who was sort of lamenting back to school because it kind of means like summertime is sort of, ending. And I know some people love summer. I mean, I like summer too, but I feel like June is the best time of summer because like you're just getting out of school and it's like all the excitement and possibility of the summer. But now by August, it's like, at least where we are, disgustingly hot. And I think the kids need to get back on their schedule. They're done with camps at this point because they're so close to going back to school. And now they just bicker with each other most of the time. So I'm 100% in favor of back to school.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you are in the majority, but there's quite a few people that don't.
Yeah.
Quite a few parents that don't like it. As a matter of fact, over 25% of parents say that back to school is overwhelming. And it's funny because I have actually, and this is the first year I have started hearing ads, and I heard one today talking about how we have probably blown back to school into a whole season and made it this fucking thing. Which is true. I mean, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but we have created a back to school season, which is not great because I do think, and I kind of understand where these parents may be coming from, is that, essentially the last 2 weeks of July, all the stores start putting together all their supplies and ads start popping up, reminding folks that school is starting. So you've got to buy all new clothes for your kids. You've got to make sure that everybody's summer work is done. Even the libraries are like, make sure you finish your summer reading before heading back to school. And you got to coordinate carpools and you got to get kids back on a normal schedule. And then you're going to have all that anxiety that comes with that. So, I question as to whether or not we have made back to school into something it really doesn't need to be. Yeah, I mean, yes, there's got to be preparation.
Long. Yeah, it's too long. It's what it is. Yeah.
But I mean, yes, there's preparation, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be a fucking season. We don't need to be sitting there, coordinating sales and having advertisements and just being hit in the face from mid-July on as we run back up to school. Thoughts on that?
Thank you very much. I would like to keep my anxiety to like a couple days before school starts. Thank you. I don't need it to start, 4 weeks before school goes back. In fact, we're just doing summer work with my older son today. Actually, he's finally finished up all of his summer work, which is great. So he now has, as an almost 10-year-old will say, now that he's done with his work, he really has a few days to just chill and prepare himself for school because, he's got a tough life. But we did at least finish his summer work. But yeah, the thought that this all you have to start getting ready for this in like mid-July is kind of insane to me. I don't know why. Well, I guess I know why, because they're trying to sell you more stuff, right? But just like, it does seem like it's way, way too soon. I really do want to enjoy summer for as long as possible and then stress out about school when we get closer to it.
Yeah, I mean, we've consumerized going back to school. And yet again,
yes,
there is preparation. You have to get some supplies. You do have to make sure that all the clothes fit as we get into, the
we did that a couple days ago too. Yep,
all
the retread on all the goals.
All of that does need to happen.
Yeah.
But we've turned this into a big fucking deal. And clearly this whole back to school, and again, as I mentioned earlier, back to school like season that retailers are doing and people keep pushing is causing burnout because, as I said, there was 2 ads I heard on the radio today being like, look, back to school fucking sucks. We don't need a season for it. But if you
what
need
were the ads selling?
If you need a haircut, we're pretty flexible. You can come in whenever you want to. Yeah, it was like a Great Clips ad. And I was like, nice. You know what? I appreciate that honesty. You're right. Back to school season does kind of fucking suck. And we don't need a season for it, period. You just prepare for it. You just do it. Just do it.
That's true. I also love that you listen to the commercial radio that has ads still. Good for you. Like, I don't know the last time I've listened to the radio, the part of it that actually has ads.
I don't. I was I was picking up my dog from daycare. And they had
it on. Okay, all right, that's better.
On, their old analog radio on.
What are you doing in the car listening to Okay.
And there were 2 ads about this. And I was like, yes, because you do walk into some of these stores and it's all about back to school. Yeah. In some cases, it's back to school as soon as July 4th is over. And again, we don't need to consumerize this. We've created a monster that is back to school. And I think it creates too much anxiety among parents. Clearly it is if 25% of parents are saying that back to school is too overwhelming. Clearly it's creating anxiety.
I bet if you asked are parents just stressed about it, it's probably like 80 or 90% are stressed about just back to school in general, like not even being overwhelming, but just, it can be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and it really just does not need to be because, I look back and, when you look back, it's always somewhat through rose-colored glasses. But yes, we had to go get supplies. There were the clothing runs, but it wasn't a big fucking deal. You did this in like the week right up before school started. It was not all of these like huge back to school summer deals in stores. You just did it. It was much more of a leisurely reintroduction to school. Not this big performance. Yet again, we talked about the performative culture that we're living in. I feel like this is what we've done. We've created everything into a fucking performative task.
It's a good point. I mean, like I said, as a kid, you probably don't remember it the same way, right? Of maybe what it actually was. I'll have to talk to my parents and some others to see if like back to school was such a big deal. To your point, I don't remember it being a big thing. I remember like going and you get like the school supply list and back to school clothes and like that type of stuff. But again, it wasn't like this whole big to do. It's just you went and picked this stuff up. Although something I will say that I do like a lot now, and this varies by school. So our kids' school does this. I know we have some friends whose their kids' school does not. They still give you the supply list. You got to go to wherever to get your supplies. But our kids' school will actually take care of all the classroom supplies for you. Now they charge you like an extra like school supply fee or whatever they call it. But it's kind of nice. So you literally just have to send them with like a backpack and a lunchbox, and then they take care of like all of the stuff that they need in the classroom, which I'm here for that level of convenience.
that sounds bougie.
Loving that. It is, maybe it is
know.
bougie, but it's really nice. I'm like, I wouldn't have to worry about
is.
like pencils or loose leaf paper or binders. You know, like trapper keepers, there's things back from the 90s. Oh, those good times. I mean, the kids don't really have books anymore, which is a whole nother thing, but
yeah, the 3-ring binders,
nice, yeah.
Well, I mean, I remember very distinctively, you know, getting your school supply list probably like 2 weeks in advance of school starting.
It's probably true. Yeah, it was much closer.
And then my parents would be like, okay, what do you already have? It's like, do you really need more 3-ring binders? No, just go win your fucking stuff and get what we've already got. And if there are holes, then we will fill the holes on your school supply list. But we're not going to go out and buy all new supplies just because, you know, this is on a list. Not restarting everything every year. And yeah, I appreciate that. And, you know, and like your parents, my parents worked. So most of the time, this was like a 2-weekend event just to like, get clothes, get
like
supplies.
An afternoon, you'd go and get stuff or whatever. Like, it was not like a
just
whole drawn out,
like a Saturday afternoon.
Right.
And now there's this whole fucking production about going back to school. And we talked to, you know, friends of ours, and there's the get-togethers that are being planned, and like the
wait, what is this? I've not. Like
yes,
the meetups.
Preschool,
sorry, we do have
meetups and stuff
the
like
playground
that.
meetups and things. Yeah, I thought maybe parents were getting together. I'm like, ooh, who wants to hang out and have a drink before school starts? Like not in the morning before it's later. No, we do have like playground meetups and meet the teacher and all that type of stuff. Yeah, that is true. Although you know what kids will not appreciate, because again, most that I know, not just where our kids go to school, but lots of schools are moving away from like textbooks and things. But do you remember one thing? I guess this was like the first week that you started school. One of the big activities used to be getting contact paper to put on like your workbooks, and then getting like the brown paper bags, and you like cover the hard textbook to keep the cover safe, and you could like decorate or like draw on it or write stuff on the brown paper bag. That used to be a whole thing too. You'd have like an afternoon, one of the like the first days after school, you'd come in with all your books and have to like brown paper bag everything or like put the covers on it all. Yeah. That was probably pain for parents, I bet.
To this day, I'm like, that was the dumbest shit, because it's not
like actually do. Yeah.
It's not like a brown paper bag was really going to save the cover
with like tear and stuff. Yeah, I know, but
yeah, it's just the
man.
Looking back at that, I'm just like, man, that was a dumb fucking task for them to ask us to do. Make sure you put your brown paper bags around
your textbooks.
Cover.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Not ananymore. Kids.
Make sure you've got plenty of batteries for your TI-83 calculator.
Yes. Oh, that was, yeah. The TI-83 calculator. It's good times. All these fun memories. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, yet again, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
We didn't need to sit there and, you know, draw something out that is simple. Yet again, going back to school is no different than, you know, coming back from a vacation, or, you know, you have tons of breaks in the middle of a school year. You have tons of breaks in the middle of a work.
All the time. Sorry, the breaks of school, you're reminding me. Like, I looked at because they sent us the calendar. I'm like, there are multiple 4-day weekends in October and then November, like not Thanksgiving. I'm like, what is happening? I don't remember all this either. All these breaks that kids seem to get these days too. I feel like every 2 or 3 weeks, it's like, oh, let's have another day off. It's like, go to school.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that to me before, but I look back and school started later.
That's true. School
started later, like after Labor Day.
In our area, it's before. Yeah.
Now it's before. And so, you know, I think that kind of justifies, because you still have to hit that whatever number of education days or whatever however they do it. But yeah, I mean, I just think that, you know, we have blown back to school into something that it really shouldn't be. And I think it creates anxiety among kids more so than parents. And I don't think that's fair on the kids, because there's going to be anxiety. There's going to be those first day jitters going back to school, because you don't know the teacher. You don't know if there's going to be any new kids in your class or things like that. But that's part of life. I mean, you're going to have lots of first days of everything. You know, first days of college, first days of whatever. And so, you know, just make this not a big deal. It's just part of life. And I think that's where we've really fallen behind on this, uh, just this whole back to school season.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too, because as a parent with school age kids, it's often something we like pay attention to and have to do and go through the motions. And I agree with all of what you've said about this being way too long of a process, and there's too much here. But I'm curious because like you obviously, or not obviously, but you don't have kids, Mike. So like when you see all this back to school stuff, do you just like roll your eyes at it, or are you like, oh, I'm avoiding going out for a little while as we get closer to school? Like, do you does it even impact you, or you just sort of like just move on with your life?
No, because I mean, like with your boys, I want to make sure I can help them because
Yeah, sure.
your eldest was asking me some questions yesterday about this. Um, it's not like it doesn't impact me in any way, with the exception of the fact that, especially as the university students start coming back to our area,
Oh, yes.
ensuring that we avoid specific stores
Target
because
is near us.
and Walmart and all the
That's
rest
true.
of
I
them.
guess other bigger box stores, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get anywhere close to those two stores probably till mid-September
That's fair.
because it just turns into chaos. And yeah, but and I also have to avoid, and hell, I think we talked about this a year ago when we first launched. Is like I got to watch out for the goddamn school buses because some of these school bus drivers are crazy. It will run you off the fucking road. So
That is true. I would say the university students coming back though is a thing. So we have two universities, a bigger one and a smaller one near where we live. And I mentioned Target because it's down the street from my house and we go there a lot. And I went in the other day and they had all their like welcome back the colleges, like the specific colleges. And it's like, oh, this is my sign that I should not come back here for like 3 or 4 weeks. Cause it is just, I get it. It's an even bigger deal, right? When you're moving into a dorm room or having to get lots of stuff for that, but it just becomes a madhouse. And it's not just inside the store. It's that parking lot gets scary. You got people flying around in their big SUVs trying to pack their college students up. And it's just like the Wild West out in that in that parking lot there. It's just like, whoop, just avoid it altogether.
well, it's not even that. I mean, yet again, I went to the um I just actually went to the grocery store, and the grocery stores have gotten big into back to school, which is incredibly frustrating. I don't need you all taking an entire fucking aisle for back to school supplies when I'm trying to get fucking
At the
food
grocery store
at
is
the
back to
grocery
school
store.
stuff. Oh, I haven't looked at that closely.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought
Mm-hmm.
the cheap beer aisle is like all restocked for the college kids.
Yeah, but I mean, like these moms just throwing in like the colored Crayola
Mm.
pencils into a cart and the loose leaf paper and all this other shit, and I'm like, "Ugh, guys, did you check to see what you already have?
And what you already have, you should stop them and ask, like, "Excuse me, have you used?"
don't waste money."
But it goes back to your broader point, which is probably true, is that this does feel like it's all just become much more like, I don't know, late stage capitalism, overly consumerist, whatever it is. It's just like now back to school gets this whole like shopping event where it's all like you've got to have all the stuff.
It's
Whereas I
like
feel like,
purgatory, really. I mean, that's kind of what it is. I call this back to school purgatory.
right, there you go.
Because I mean, you're just in this weird space between, summer vacation and like when school restarts.
Yeah.
And I just want to be like, you don't have to be in that weird space. Summer vacation ends the last day before school starts. Enjoy your fucking summer vacation. Don't sit there and stress out about
maybe. I'd say the one caveat to that would be, because we're going through this, and this is part of back to school that's not on any supply list, are resetting kids and I guess parents like sleep clocks and stuff. That is, I do think we are starting to do that now, because that's always a transition, is just like
yes, but I think that's a
normal.
transition depending on the age of your children.
Yeah.
I mean, yet again, if you've got high school age kids, or hell, even middle
Like
school age kids,
yeah.
I mean, they're going to be fine. They'll figure it out. You don't need to sit there and go through this whole routine. Yes, for your elementary school
Well, we got
kids, you definitely need to get them back on schedule, getting them to bed at a reasonable hour so that they wake up at a reasonable hour so it's not a big thing. Although I don't think your eldest would have a problem just snapping back into it. Your youngest,
Well,
yes.
that's a separate issue. Yeah, that's the challenge. It's going to be a challenge. Although I'll say something I didn't expect, which again, probably hopefully other parents can relate to this, and it's not just me, is a funny part of getting them back on their sleep schedule for back to school is we're starting to do that now about 2 weeks out. This will come out closer when school starts. When we're taping about 2 weeks out to school starting. Is they're getting up a little bit earlier in the morning, like I'm not having to sleep in as long. And then I'm like, oh crap, I've got to fill an extra hour or two of the day since they're not at camp with like something to do. So that's been a fun, unexpected challenge from getting them back on their normal sleep schedules.
Surprise.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, I wasn't anticipating that.
Well,
yeah, we'll figure it out. It's just kind of funny. Something I
the
wasn't
little
expecting.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it's like, but we'll get there, or the first day is going to be fun for everybody.
It'll be
Especially
fine. It'll all work out. It'll all work out. Yet again,
it will. Yeah.
We don't need to make a production out of everything.
That is true. I think
it'll all work out.
Make it into a bigger deal, I think to your other point too, does add more stress to everybody, right? Like if you don't make it into this whole huge thing, then hopefully everyone kind of keeps a fairly, even temper. And we just sort of transition, nice and smoothly into back to school instead of making it this whole huge to do.
Yeah. I do want to talk a little bit about what's driving more anxiety among parents with back to school too, because it's not just the back to school season. I hate that I keep calling it that because it shouldn't fucking be a season. But there was some interesting work done analyzing why you've got only the 58% of parents looking forward to back to school and the 25% feeling overwhelmed. So there's some driving factors behind parents' anxiety beyond just the season. And the main one is the quality of education that their children are receiving. So while the majority of parents, about 64%, are very optimistic about their children's future, they're not as confident in the quality of their K through 12 education. Other things that are, and this is so unique to the United States, but here we are. They get worried about things like shooting drills, active shooter drills. They are getting worried about schools being used as political pawns by school boards and other elected officials. And they're tired of the lack of resources in schools. So all of these things, completely understandable. Yet again, not a parent, so cannot directly relate, but the fact that we even have to run active shooter drills in schools just angers the absolute shit out of me.
Yeah, anger is the right emotion to have there. Yeah.
And the fact that we've got all of these organizations that are using schools as political pawns also really frustrates the shit out of me because it always seems to be the exact same people that do this, and they ain't got no fucking kids in school anymore, and they haven't for about 30 fucking years. So, I think these are unique considerations. Yet again, I think they're unique to the United States because we don't have some of these problems. But
yeah, I mean, the shooting stuff is definitely unique to the United States. I'm not quite so sure about some of the other, like the political or how well it's resourced. It's probably worse here than it is in some other developed places. But yeah, I mean, we could have a whole 30-minute conversation about the insanity of like our current school system, not just how they're resourced, but the fact that we've all just accepted that like shootings are a thing that just are like common now at schools, and it's not a big deal. Or we say it's a big deal, but we don't actually do anything to change it. And yeah, like anger, rage, infuriation, like there's a whole lot of feelings I have about that. And like the thing that, is just so, I guess, sad too is, I remember as a kid, we used to have like tornado drills, right? Where you'd like sit under your desk or the closet because that would somehow protect you in a tornado. But sure, that's what we did because that was like the worst thing that could have happened to us. And today it's like literally the first week of school, the kids come back and tell us about their like lock and hide or their lock and teach, different types of drills that they do where they now like teach kids how to hide so a shooter can't find you. And it's absolutely like insane. And the fact that we as a country haven't really address that or don't seem to have the willpower to do that is just, it's beyond infuriating.
No, because we have too many people arguing over what books can be in a fucking library. They're more worried about that than they are preventing guns from getting into schools.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely part of it. I think we don't have the willpower on the political class to do anything. I think a lot of like all of us like probably don't put enough pressure consistently to try to get change, or if the past bad, terrible things have happened, and it's like people get upset about it for a week and then it goes away. It's just a whole lot of frustrating things that go into that. And I think too, I can understand as a parent being worried about your child's education. And part of me wonders, I think there are some things that are happening now in terms of like how well are schools being funded, or at least in the state that we live in, there have been big debates about how we're evaluating students and like have we continued to see like learning loss from COVID, have that recovered or not? Like, are kids really learning the same level they should have been? Like all those conversations going on. And so as a parent, that's something you certainly keep an eye on. I was saying, I wonder if part of it sometimes too, I try to look at myself or think like when especially our oldest who is in the middle of elementary school comes home, certainly this happened last year, and I'm sure it'll be this year again. A lot of the work they do on the computer, or they have like worksheets they work from, as I mentioned before, they won't know, covering your textbook in those brown paper bags. They don't have like textbooks the same way. And so part of me kind of wonders, like, are they learning as well as they used to? Is it just because they're learning differently? Does that make it better or worse? I don't know. Or like they do math a different way now, which I don't understand. And it drives me crazy too. So I'm like, that's not the right way to add and subtract, but that's how it works, apparently. I don't know. It's just like, but again, it's like, is it just because it's different? And so that's just me being like, well, I learned it this way, so this has to be the correct way to do it. Or are our kids actually not learning as much as they have in previous years? Part of me worries it is kind of the second one. At least a lot of research has shown that in the United States, like math and reading aptitude is historically low from where it should be. But I do sometimes wonder if some of it's just, are we turning into old people who are like, well, it used to be this way, so it needs to stay the way that it was for us?
Do you need a physical textbook? Do you need to like do the math the same way? I think your eldest son has shown me that no, you don't have to do solve math problems the exact same way we used to. And that kid is fucking smart as a whip. And so, he's solving math problems just very quickly. And so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, I do think that there's some old man part of this, like, you got to learn the way we used to learn, but there's also the learning gap is happening. We know it's
real,
happening.
Right? And so like, what is causing that, or how do you fix it?
How do we fix that? I don't know.
I don't know either. If anyone has ideas, please let us know, or thoughts about that. I mean, it's a big question. I will say the gap, and I think it's good that girls continue to excel so much at school. But as someone who has two boys in elementary school, it's something I do like think about, and we talked about this before too, look at a lot, is just sort of like, sort of the state of boys and how to make sure that they are getting the support that they need to continue to like hopefully excel as well. Like those two things shouldn't be mutually exclusive from one another, but it's a big challenge.
It is a big challenge, and we've got to solve it. We've got to solve it now before it like gets really out of hand.
That's also true.
So big challenges ahead. Are we going to tackle them? I'm not so sure.
Okay, I don't think we leave on a down note. It's all falling apart.
like most parents, I am very optimistic about where this younger generation is going to go.
I'm impressed.
I'm hoping, I look at your boys, I look at our friends' kids, and I think there's a lot of really positive momentum. And some of these just really great kids. So
yeah, and kids are super resilient and creative.
Not all of our friends have great kids. Oh, you know who you are.
Mike will call you directly to criticize your parenting.
Just to criticize your fucking kid.
Just to criticize, but yes. That's true. Kids are resilient and awesome, and hopefully everyone who has kids has a good back to school transition, and it's not a whole big thing, but we just sort of enjoy the rest of summer and then hopefully have a good start to the school year.
Yes, please have a great back to school. I hope the first few weeks are awesome, and it'll be a smooth transition. Don't overstress about anything.
There you go.
All right, we've blown through another 30 minutes. If you've not done so already, please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us out a lot. Remember that you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartMedia, and all your favorite podcasting platforms. And until next week, good luck, guys.
See ya.